Pitch it to Najee Harris. Harris sidesteps, gets to the sideline. Najee Harris dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Steelers.
I don't think I expected anything less.
That's unbelievable. It is absolutely incredible.
Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here at 5100 West Library Avenue. Hey, we thought we had technical difficulties. We don't.
Nope.
We're good. We're spot on. Nick just came in off the baseball field. Blackhawks got beat.
They forgot to score through the first 6 innings. That was a big problem.
That'll do it.
We'll get into that later. All right. I was young once, so I know what it's like to play at that age.
I know another Pittsburgh team that has that same problem, but
well, we're not going to talk about that. 1-4, we're not talking about it. Okay. We got a lot of sports to talk about. Thanks for watching us on Facebook. We appreciate it. And thanks for being on YouTube. We've been holding at that 400 mark on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. A couple people said they might watch YouTube tonight, so hello to you. We always have fun doing this. A lot of sports to talk about. I don't know that Rogers guy, but he's in the media all the time somehow. I don't know how he does it, but yeah. So I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, smoking Jim Frazier, dressed for winter again. It was chilly. Nick Callis representing the Black Hawk Orange. We need a little black. He got the mic on and a phone. And we got Mike Ragin' Rohde back again. And we got promos. I got to do a promo, and I'm going to have Vinny work on this promo. I'll talk about it first. The library VFW post 6664, 5K run and walk, 3rd annual. Dog walk included this year, Saturday, May 17th. That's Drew's birthday, 9 a.m. Start line at the VFW Library and Montour Trail here. Benefits veterans as well as Hearts and Paws Button Pantry. Registration fee $20. Day of event registration $25. There's a QR code on that. We'll let our man Vinny get the focus right now on that. So thanks for Chief McElroy watching. Our sick volunteer Marco Rohde's watching. Thanks for tuning in. We miss you, Marco. And thanks for that Bednar update. I thought it was an April Fool's joke like your dad said.
Dumbest thing.
All right, 10 seconds. We're going to the promos.
My name is Nicholas Callis, and this is the Bethel Park Minute. No Cook Tuesdays continue this week at the Bethel Park Community Center from 4 to 7 p.m. in the playground parking lot. Check Bethel Park Recreation Socials for a list of their weekly food trucks. The community yard sale is taking place this Saturday and Sunday, both days from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check Bethel Park Recreation's website page or social media later this week for a map of participating sellers. Businesses can still sign up to participate in the April 26th job fair by filling out the Bethel Park Job Fair employer registration form at bethelparkpa.gov/jobfair. Spring cleanup registration will be closing on April 4th. The spring cleanup event will be taking place on Saturday, April 26th. If you have individuals or groups that would like to participate, please reach out to Haya Eason by her email or by her phone number extension. If you want to clean up your own property, our yard waste collection will be taking place on select Saturdays starting April 19th. Check back soon for more details. My name is Nicholas Callis, and this has been the Bethel Park Minute.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. Thanks for watching those promos. On a sad note, the Post-Gazette bought out my mailers union. There were only about 8 guys left. They had to settle. The judge ruled that they shouldn't have stopped their health care because they broke the contract. That's what I was known for, negotiating contracts. And I knew they'd get paid, so they all got a settlement. My grandfather helped found that union. My dad worked there for almost 50 years. I had 36 years. It's a sad day last week. The union's done now. They're out of business, and same with the Post-Gazette. They may be putting out that paper. It's still a scab paper from the Butler Eagle that they bought. So tough feelings there. We'll go back. Yeah, a lot of great memories. The stories, I may have to write a book about it. They're unbelievable stories. Yes, not just about me, others. We had nicknames for everybody. And it was unbelievable. One story before I go. I had to talk to a guy, and they said, you can talk to Ghost. He was an older guy, probably in his 70s, looked a little pale and all that. And he was a nice guy. He was teaching me how to do the job. When he died, they said, did you know this guy, his last name ended in a ski? It was a Polish guy. And I go, no, I don't know him. They go, that was Ghost.
Ended in a ski?
He was like 80-some, yeah, last name like Gradkowski or something like that, you know, or like Fraser Ski. Something like that. You know, just.
Always a special brand.
Yeah, then Jane Leffler's watching. Ralph Williams watching. Hello, guys. Linda Kroll she got breaking news. Hi, from Philly. Breaking NFL news. Jalen Hurts in talks with Steelers, wants to get them in Super Bowl VII.
We finally got him.
April Fools. Jane Leffler, what you think about the new bats the Yankees are using? They're legal right now because they finally figured out a sweet spot was the label. Now they made a bigger sweet spot, and the Yankees only had 15 home runs. So wait about 2 months because baseball's traditional, like Nick found out. And
I got an argument. I'm sugaring up here. So.
yeah, so you got to, but they're going to end up outlawing because right now they're legal.
I got a whole argument.
Understand?
Let's get going.
You're 26. No, I'm just taking my time because I just wanted to share this on Pittsburgh Sportsline. I'm going to do something for the first time. Whatever Smokin' Jim says, I believe, and whatever he bets on, he will be 100% correct. April Fools.
Yay!
That's my best buddy. Tony DiPaolo watched us last time, and he goes, you two are hilarious, and Smokin' Jim's so great drinking that ginger ale.
Look who else is drinking it.
He got a new,
All sugar.
that's the ginger ale side of the table.
It actually says 0 sugar.
All right, let's move on. What's on your mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
This is no
you
April
got to
Fools.
see Levine.
It's relish.
Yes.
Relish.
I tell you what, me and Nick, we searched high and low for this. And Al Levine, the talking machine, thanks to Mikey, I got 2 hoagies coming in, and I tell you what, the
there
Bethel
you go.
Park Band does a great job. I'm hooked on the turkey hoagie. You know, I'm loyal. I only get the turkey hoagies. There's so much meat, I can make 3 sandwiches out of one Al Levine, the talking machine.
Smokin'
It's
Jim,
unbelievable.
I hate-
feel like I should pay more.
You know, there's one-uppers. Well, I'm a two-upper. Not only do I buy 2,
This
but
relish gonna taste
I buy
good with
4.
turkey.
I get 2 turkeys and 2 Italians, and Drew and I fight over
I
each
don't
one.
cheat. I don't cheat.
You don't eat either. So, yeah. Ann Harder said, drink the Kool-Aid, Al. Hey, I like ginger ale, but not Smokin' Jim's ginger ale. And Margaret Rohde, hello to all on the handsome panel. Enjoying the show from Rochester, New York. Nick and Peggy Rohde, our biggest fans in Rochester. Thanks for tuning in. Marco Rohde, Thomas Harrington first ever pitch as a single. Thank you for the update. All right, Smokin' Jim. You know, what's on your mind? Go ahead.
Al Levine, the talking machine. Today I just set a record. I sold $7,000, which is 10 tables worth of tickets to our state of Pennsylvania banquet. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, before I turned it in, I'm sitting there with $7,000 in cash. I'm saying, I could buy a school bus, but I did the right thing. Al Levine, the talking machine, and turned the money in. Hey, I already know what's wrong with the Pirates. No torpedo bats. And I'm listening to Nick earlier on his radio show, and he says you still have to be the same ounces weight-wise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Hold it, ding, ding. Let the argument begin.
there's no argument.
No, I just.
But if I try to explain it to you now, I feel like it's not going to make sense.
No, yeah.
So I need to do
it
Nick's
won't make
VIP
sense.
time
Just
slash
like-
Smokin' Jim's dumbed down time.
Just
So we
think
can-
of the sweet spot on a bat, Smokin' Jim. Did you know what the sweet spot was?
The sweet spot, boy. When you go 8 for 8, you know the sweet spot, brother.
You don't even know where it is on the bat.
But
I thought you
lastly,
went 7 for 8.
He
well,
was.
I thought I did go 7 for 8, but
why'd you
Chip said
think-
I went 8 for 8.
Why'd you think you went 7 for 8?
Because I got thrown out at home, inside the park, home run.
I thought you said you got thrown out trying for a double.
No.
That was then, the first time.
Nobody throws me out for a double, brother. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, this is the last one. Always used to say, you can go to Pitt and be a Panther for 4 years, or you can go to Penn State and be a Nittany Lion for life. And I used to also say, you can go to UCLA and be a Bruin for 4 years, or you can go to USC and be a Trojan for life. L. Levine, the talking machine.
I don't
I'm going to
understand.
back off now, L. Levine, the talking machine. I'm going to back off of UCLA because they broke the story that Aaron Rodgers is now a Pittsburgh Steeler throwing to DK Metcalf. So I'm going to give UCLA a pass, the Bruins a pass, because they finally broke the story. We got a quarterback in 2025.
Smoking Jim,
We got a quarterback.
you're one of the rarest guys I've ever met. You've been inside the war room.
Rarest guy.
You're so
I'm cooked on both
No,
sides.
you're so rare in the middle. You're bright red, and that ain't cranberry. You used to do factual things. Now you're going on hearsay and video. It was a coincidence they met.
Yeah, backroom deal with Tomlin. Tomlin's smart.
That's the nicest thing you said about him in 10 years.
Coach Tomlin.
Yeah.
Probably the last time I've been to his
I know
house.
you do listen to the radio. I think you heard somebody say something about why a deal might be done, but you don't remember why, so you're just saying it's done.
Why is it? I missed that part. What happened?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Smoking Jim. Nick Callis is a little spicy today, so what's on your mind?
I'm on a heater, as the kids say. Yeah, I feel good, though. No, life's good. Still losing weight. Baseball season's here. The sun's out more often. I've been working out like crazy because I'm trying to play baseball for that Wild Things game that they're hosting against this Ireland team in June. So June 7th. Don't forget about that. I'll be doing that, and it's raising money for Riley Sporthouse. Aside from that, like football season and hockey season, I say things, and I'm just trying to like follow those sports because those aren't my favorite, right? But I still support the Steelers and the Penguins because they're in town, and the Steelers are always interesting and frustrating, but they're a fun type of interesting and frustrating. Somehow I still enjoy watching the Pirates because it's my favorite sport, even though they're rough, and this is not good. What's the start that's happened here? Not good. We'll get into torpedo bats. I have a theory on Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
talk Buccos.
I got
You're good.
a
Yeah.
lot of time. I got a lot of thoughts, so we're just going to do the what's on your mind. Like, this will be one of my biggest ones ever, so just stand by. So
Whoa.
I truly believe that the Pirates starting out poorly is not a terrible thing. It's not fun to follow right now, but it's not a terrible thing. Why? Remember the last, 3 seasons where they were doing, pretty well in April, and then they,
I
failed
do.
on the other months, and they eventually had a collapse? Well, think about this. What if they start the season poorly, and then management has to, not pretend anymore that things are okay, and then they're actually going to make moves. It may make this team better around Paul Skeens. Excuse me. They may make this team better around Paul Skeens. It's a theory.
Okay.
It's a theory
I'm positive then.
because what did winning early?
Oh my God.
What did winning early do for the Pirates the last few seasons? That's right, nothing. They didn't make the playoffs, and they finished with 76 wins 2 of those 3 seasons. So, keeping that in mind, right? The Pirates also in 2013 lost on opening day to the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs ended up finishing in last place that season. And the Pirates made the playoffs. And then the Pirates in 2015 got swept by the Reds. And they still made the playoffs and won 98 games. Now, do I think that's going to happen this season? Look at Mike. He's all stressed out over there. Like, how do I have to listen to this? Well, you do because it's my turn. You'll have your
I didn't
turn.
say anything.
You'll have your turn.
I didn't say a word.
But, hey, again, and Paul Skeens is on the cover of a baseball video game, too, which, again, there's a lot of similarities between 2013 and this season. Maybe. Who knows? I think a lot of people know, but who knows, really? Who knows? So that's the way I look at it because, what else do you do? What do you do? Honestly, what are we supposed to do here? I thoroughly enjoy baseball, and I enjoy watching baseball. And I'm going to force myself to watch games because I love baseball. And I'm going to watch a lot of Bethel Park games, too, because we're covering a lot of the games, and you can watch those games right here on PPTV if you don't want to watch the Pirates.
Go
All 6 games
Blackhawks.
here,
Go.
Although they lost a game that they shouldn't have
Go
lost.
Blackhawks.
How about this? What's his name? Coach Zender got thrown out. He's all
No.
mad. Yeah, the umpire didn't make a call. Kid was stealing home, and he didn't make a call on the pitch. And Zender was like, "What are we doing?" I could hear him from. Anyway, if you want to watch baseball,
Thanks for sharing that.
Well, you
Yeah.
watch baseball here on BPT.
We'll watch the replay.
Right. Yesterday's game, though, for the Pirates was not great, and there were a lot of mistakes. And O'Neal Cruz can't play center field, and David Bednar actually got sent down to AAA. That was not an April Fool's joke. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to digest. with this team, and I still, again, like, I'm excited now because I have an opinion on the torpedo bats, and I know a lot about the Major League Baseball teams, and I'm back in my zone because this is what I do, and I had a lot of confidence last week and coming into this week because now there are meaningful baseball games being played, and when we have conversations on the radio, bam, I'm there. When we have meaningful conversations inevitably here on this show, boom, I'm there. Especially because Chip's on this show every other week, and that'll be a thing. I'm sure something will come up. I'm sure he has torpedo bat stuff, and I already know what he's going to do because he doesn't watch when he's not here. He's going to bring up the quote from Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers manager, and he's going to say about the torpedo bats. He's going to say Pat Murphy said it's not the wand, it's the magician. I bet you $10 he brings that up next week when we talk about the torpedo bats.
I don't get it.
It's not the wand, it's the magician. It's not the bat, it's the
He doesn't
hitter.
understand.
Analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. See, we're good. So
He went to Cal U.
I got my
Gateway.
opinions on that, though, but like, there's a lot where I'm just excited. Like, I'm in a good mood despite the Pirates' utter failures and despite the Steelers not committing to anything, and despite the Penguins not, like, who cares about the Penguins? That's unreal. Think about it. They got 7 games left. Who cares? Who knew that? I did, but who knew? So that's about it. Oh, then the Aaron Rodgers thing, like I promised. Doran Dickerson on the morning show on The Fan had a theory. He said that perhaps Mike Tomlin doesn't know how to tell, like, Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt and all, like, the veteran Steelers how to explain to them that Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to show up for training camp. So maybe the solution here is just, okay, we'll sign you to a deal. We know you're coming here. We'll give you the deal when you're ready, but you just sign when you want. And then that spares the conversation with the veterans who may very well get upset if he doesn't participate, and really present himself as a team player. So that's the answer there. I think you were getting bits and pieces from places. That's where I think you would have heard the why. That's the why. I think it's a pretty solid theory because why else would they wait? I can't think of too many other reasons why, unless he's not going to sign here eventually, which would be bad. Okay, like not good.
Last week I was saying he would string it out so he didn't have to play the preseason. And Coach T, in his defense, he has favorites. So when you have a favorite and you've gone to dinner and you met with him for 6 hours and you don't sign a deal, that's bogus. Mm-hmm. They got a commitment.
Yep.
So I agree with you, Nick, on your theory. I come on from a little advance in a different theory that I trust Tomlin on. He got a guy that threw for almost 4,000 yards and 28 TDs with a terrible team.
You trust Tomlin on anything?
Yeah, on that.
Oh.
Look, he picked a future Hall of Fame quarterback to come in after Justin Fields was doing great, except he couldn't throw. And he went 6-2 and then lost out. So I trust him. He can get us started anywhere good.
Okay, well, that's it. That's what's on my mind. Yay.
Oh, thanks for my insight there. Thank you, Nick. Good points. And you got Smoking Jim pumped up a little bit
You
there.
excited? Yay.
All right, Tony from Chick-fil-A. What is in that ginger ale, or is he having head issues again? Smoking Jim. Marco gave us an update. 3-0 Tampa. Harrington.
Nice.
Who they playing?
Harrington is struggling.
Who Tampa playing?
Who's Tampa playing? Boy, you're just something.
Mike Seymour's watching. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Mike Rohde, what's on your mind with we're not in football season?
I don't know where to start.
At the beginning.
Well, let me just say this about Aaron Rodgers. I promised myself I wouldn't talk about Aaron Rodgers, but I think what everybody is probably ignoring with all of their hypothesis and this and that is that Aaron Rodgers doesn't know what he wants to do, period. There's rumors that he wanted to play for the Vikings.
They didn't
Maybe
want him.
Nobody else wants him. He doesn't have any other place to go. Maybe
That's the guy we get
maybe
then.
He just doesn't know what he wants to do. Maybe Tomlin said, we'll leave a light on for you. Maybe he's plan B. Who knows? I think everybody's way overthinking this because there's not a heck of a lot to talk about this time of year. So everybody's coming up with all kinds of theories.
Oh, there's the draft.
Why haven't the Steelers closed this? Well, because the Steelers they're not going to give him an ultimatum. I think it's gonna happen, unfortunately. But it ain't my money. What do I care? People are like, "Well, spend the money on something else." What? All the other free agents are gone.
What's
What's
$30 million?
Exactly. It ain't my money. What do I care? So bring him in. whatever. I'm actually going to get to that a little bit later. But
Whoa, a little tease again from
what I
both
wanted
co-hosts.
I just wanted to
My
address
co-hosts are on fire
I have
except
to
for
say,
smoking.
Nick, God bless you. I've never, ever seen someone as optimistic as you are. That is absolutely fantastic to think that a horrible start might be a better way to go.
Listen,
Get a good start.
listen. I work for the
No, I love
work
it.
for the
I love
flagship
it.
station of the team. It's my job.
I
It's
love
my
it.
job. That's right. It's my job.
I love it. Hey, man, if that's all we got, that's all we got. But here's the thing. I think the Pirates, here's the bottom line. I think they're starting to realize they don't have anything to sell. They're not a young team. They're not a young team of up-and-comers. They've got guys like Tommy Pham, Frazier.
Yes.
Frazier made a couple nice throws. I
Who
watched
else
that
did I
game.
jot? Jared Trio.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are
Triola.
these guys have no future in baseball, right? And
Well, we got 'em.
this is the meat of your lineup. You got to start selling something. And I understand. I mean, here's my thing. All we've been hearing about is how they've got all these prospects. They've built up all these prospects.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know the answer before I even asked the question, but the question
You're
is,
like a lawyer now. Go ahead.
How much worse can they do bringing these guys up? At least you can see what they can do. But we know the answer. They have to delay them so they can keep a hold of their contracts. But I think the Pirates are starting to realize, wait a minute, once we get past the Yankee series, it's going to start going like this, attendance. It's going to just plummet. It's going to not even get out of the gates.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to go see that? Again, you're talking about there's no excitement with the lineup they have there.
Right.
When your biggest draw is a guy who only pitches once every 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay? Which ESPN literally is already talking about what team he's going to be on in 3 years.
Wow.
They're literally already, like, not joking. They're like literally saying he'll be a better fit here. No, he'll be a better fit there. So they're not being taken seriously whatsoever. And you know, call him what you want. He's no dummy when it comes to being a businessman, right? So I think he realizes that. That's why you saw this kid come up now. I think that's why you saw Bednar go down. He realizes I've got to do something, because this year will be an absolute disgrace. We're used to seeing 27 fans in September in the stadium. We're going to start to see 27 fans in July in that stadium, and it's
you
going to
heard
be
it here.
embarrassing. Who is going? I talked last time I was here about the Pirates. Hey, it's a nice day. It's like a day at the zoo. Nice day. You go wander around. You check out things. Now it's kind of like a tour of the Love Canal. You know, I mean, who really
I like
wants
that
to
analogy.
go watch that radioactive hazard mess?
Yeah.
There's no life. There's nothing to it. They keep touting O'Neal Cruz. He's on all their commercials. That guy, I mean, he's Gregory Polanco now. You know, he can't play defense.
Wait a second.
He can't play defense.
Hold on.
He gets a hit once in a while, and then as soon as he hits the ball, he hits it a ton. You know, he's like, okay, I'll go back even further. I'll go back. He's Ralph Kiner. All he does is hit home runs.
Wow.
Ralph Kiner hit 60 home runs. Yeah, but he batted 110, right? Hit a home run or did nothing else.
Or how about Dave Kingman?
So I'll tell you what, here's O'Neal's Cruz agent. I guarantee he's already called the ownership and said, hey, remember that contract you offered us last year, $8 million a year for 5 years? Can we have that now? Because I really, they offered it to him, because they always did it to Reynolds, they do it to guys who they think, and that's not a bad business move.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that guy's a bust. He can't play in the infield. Obviously, he can't play in the outfield. It's like, oh, he only has a handful of games. Handful of games, have been playing there all spring training. And he dropped a fly ball, and he throws it. This is Little League stuff.
Yeah.
So hold on 1 second. I'll get to you, youngster.
Oh, are you moving
But-
off O'Neal Cruz?
What's that?
Are you going to move off?
No,
O'Neal?
yeah, go ahead with all new Cruz. Go ahead.
You know what my favorite fact about him is?
What's
Do
that?
you remember how the Pirates got him?
Out of their farm system in the Dominican, right? Where?
They traded the Los Angeles Dodgers, and in exchange they gave up Tony Watson. Remember that guy?
I do.
Iceman.
Yeah.
It's my favorite fact.
So
There you
I guess
go.
my
Good fact.
point is I
Thank you, Nick.
think the Pirates really need to do something, because they're in my opinion, that I can recall, they're at their lowest state right now. If you take out Paul Skeens, what is left to draw? I don't.
Just a shell.
Look at what
The
you've
potential
got
of
there.
Thomas Harrington?
You know, you've got. Look at the guy at second base, the guy at third base. I mean, these guys are just they're not stars. They're just
Yeah.
they're either guys who have already peaked, or they're just guys that shouldn't even be in the league, or they're like guys who should be literally on the bench. Not bad bench players, maybe, but
Right.
there's zero zip to this team, zero, and they got to start bringing these kids up. They have to, and I'm hoping they're seeing that, because if not, like I said, you're going to be able to count the flies in the stadium along with the fans. There's going to be just as many. There's going to be no one there.
Thank goodness
Optimism,
for the Steelers.
optimism, pessimism.
Hey, I'm as much a fan as he is.
Didn't you
with
go to the
Pirates.
game?
I love the Pirates. I hate baseball. I hate the league of what they've done, of how they've created.
Rich and poor.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, if you're I've come to the point of like, if I'm the owner of the Pirates, I do the same thing. You have no chance to compete. And if you do have a lucky streak, you got to sell everybody because you can't keep them.
Right.
And you got maybe 5 teams that are going to compete. It's a joke.
Thank goodness for the Steelers.
It's a joke. And it's like, well, then why did Nutting sign the agreement? Well, of course he did, because he's getting money from the other teams.
Yeah, but he lost $2 million.
It's a joke, and it's a sad situation.
That story was interesting. That was an interesting story.
Well, just on that note, why did that come out, a $2 million loss, when everybody's been saying for years he makes all this money?
I heard another report the day before that they made $67 million.
Yeah.
You know, and DK Sports says they lost money. Who do you believe? I don't know.
Who is that? DK Sports?
Dan?
Yeah.
Kovac, what's his last name?
Yeah.
But anyway, they're the ones that reported he got
Yeah,
lost.
he's been doing
Mr.
it
Jim.
for years. Yeah.
Mr. Jim.
With the Pirates stinking up everything for being losers for 30-plus years, and the Penguins going down, aren't you guys glad now that the Steelers didn't tear it all down, that they're just competitive?
No.
Because we wouldn't.
No.
It's a different
this would be
situation because
not the city of champions. The
you can
city of
turn around
losers.
NFL and NHL teams pretty quickly because it's a parity league. It's built for parity, right?
what-
There's revenue
what
sharing,
leagues?
there's salary cap, salary,
NHL.
salary.
NHL.
Hockey and football.
Yeah,
no,
there's a
Ho-
salary floor,
hockey.
there's a salary ceiling, but in baseball you've just got you've got nothing. You have zero hope, zero hope.
Well, the Steelers went from 1933 to 1972 without making the playoffs. So,
Let's hope it's not that
you
long.
know,
again.
so
Art
be
Rooney.
careful what you wish for.
Well, I have a saying, SOS Steelers, and I call it same old Bucks, SOBs.
Wait, the
I've been saying that for years.
the
Mike,
Super
so
Bowl
you're
era was
joining
only
my
a fraction
club.
of that time.
They're
though.
SOBs.
They had
It's a sad
championships.
situation.
It
They
is
had
sad.
championships.
Tell you what's even sadder. I was talking to Marco about this. Henry Davis, another bust. I mean, if that guy couldn't make this team, can we start calling him a bust?
Wow.
I mean, my
Almost.
goodness. So it's
Almost.
He got
Almost
all the
what?
tools,
Not quite.
though.
Almost. You can almost call him.
it's pretty close.
What
like I
will
said,
trigger that?
If
What
he
will
can't
trigger
make
that?
this team,
He's younger than me. Give him a chance.
I'm just saying, Nick. I mean, if he can't beat out, Tommy Pham, I mean, come on, man.
Well, then when they signed Tommy Pham for a reason.
Give me what reason was that? Because I really would like to know
Ding,
what
ding.
that reason was.
Ding, ding.
Tommy freaking Pham.
He
That'll sell tickets. Let's get Tommy Pham in
he's
here.
a fiery guy. That will
Yeah,
bring
he's
energy
fiery,
into
all
this
right.
organization.
All right, we've had enough of
Give him
this.
his
He
back.
tries to steal second base and extra innings for no reason.
By the way, if any
Don't make me laugh. I'll start coughing.
Smoking Jim drinks ginger ale, I don't drink any of our team's Kool-Aid, so I'm like doubting Thomas. I got to see it to believe it. Johnny
Thomas Arrington.
Yes, Johnny Mariano's watching. Susan Strandberg's watching.
Cousin Susie.
Chick-fil-A Tony Shelton is too much of a yes man, and that's why he has not been fired yet.
Wow.
That's,
Come on. I keep hearing this. You could put any GM, any manager in with the Pirates. Do they think that's going to make a difference? I laugh about that, how these guys keep their jobs. Who wants that job?
well, you put a
I wouldn't mind trying. I'm not going to.
I'd put your hat in. You might have a chance.
hey, at 26, you're working 2 jobs. Add the Pirates in on that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I'm also still going for counsel.
There we
And I
go.
got a girlfriend now, so there's that.
There
A lot
we
of
go.
responsibility.
And she missed tonight's show, so we'll carry on. All right, Al, what's on your mind? I always like March Madness, but I've been against college with NIL and portals. So this year, Watched some great games. I watched Alabama was on fire like you couldn't believe. They had 25 threes, set a record. They set a record in March Madness, 113 points. And then I've been a fan of Duke. I like front runners and good traditional teams. Alabama met Duke, and they got beat. Their guy that scored 34 points, guess what? They have 5 guys, and this guy, Cooper Flagg, he just turned 18. He should be a senior in high school, but he went to school early, and he's going to be a #1 pick in the NBA at 18 years old. And he's a white guy, Smoking Jim. You didn't mention that.
Tall white guy, yeah.
Yeah, and he's right. So I watched that. Then I like Houston a little bit, and I like Florida, and good teams. So we'll see what this March Madness brings. And there's some great ball players. Like they're talking about all #1 teams. This has only happened twice. The last time is in 2008. So it's busted a lot of the brackets and everything else. But I'd rather see the best play, and whether they're all from the portal or NIL. Like I think that Cooper Flagg's making only $4.8 million.
Is that all?
Yeah. They didn't work on it. They just gave him that money.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my opinion on it. March Madness, can't wait to see the finals, and we'll see what happens
You been
there.
watching any of the women?
I didn't find it on the channel. I was looking for it.
UConn's looking good this year.
Well, that's good. See, we got a little March Madness men and women's there.
Or LSU is out. You know, I know the coach asked.
I'm going with South Carolina, though.
The coach asked the reporter how many Final Fours you've been to.
Hey, that happens. Smoking Jim, my women's team is South Carolina.
Yeah, they're pretty good, but they ain't
See, I know a
UConn.
little bit,
They ain't
but
beating UConn.
guess what? South Carolina may do it again. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's why he's Smoking Jim and I'm not. What's on your, let's see, fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac? 10 seconds.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine.
He never did it before.
I still got Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on my mind. But,
Oh, did she change her look, Angel Reese?
Sexy.
You didn't even say anything about that.
sexy.
It's all about the visuals.
But I tell you what, maybe it's just me. Maybe Al Levine, the talking machine, grew up as a Green Bay Packer fan because the Steelers stunk. The Steelers were the worst team for 40 years in the National Football League. Nobody ever thought they'd win anything. I like a team to be competitive. Listen, we're the city of champions. You can't make it to the Super Bowl if you don't make the playoffs. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers got a real chance. You look at it. Everybody says you need defensive line help. Well,
Nobody said that at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying it. Don't forget the Philadelphia Eagles was 1-6 going down the last 7 games.
Don't
a
forget
year
the
ago.
Philadelphia Eagles this year had 2 running options that helped propel their offense to kick the bleep out of the Chiefs.
Again, the Philadelphia Eagles
Good
was
points,
1-6 2 years ago going
before they
down
had
the
Saquon
stretch.
Barkley, yeah,
And the next year they won the Super Bowl. The
because they got
Pittsburgh-
Saquon Barkley.
Well, they won Super Bowls without him too.
One.
Listen, I look at the defensive line. They say you need defensive line help. I look at T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith as defensive end. You got Hayward as a defensive tackle. You need another help there. People say we need linebackers.
Which people?
Patrick Queen had 140 tackles. Peyton Wilson, who I love, got married. He's very mature. These are chase and run type players that fit the system that the Steelers want. You want somebody to cover running backs and tight ends. Say what you want about Mika Fitzpatrick. He made the Pro Bowl last year. Maybe he don't get interception. Deshaun Elliott's pretty good, strong safety. Darius Slay's one of the top 5 or 6 cornerbacks in the league. He's just not as good as Cooper DeJean. And say what you want about Joey Porter Jr. I don't like him. Now, on the offensive line, you got 2 first-round draft choices on the offensive line. You got a second-round draft choice at center, and you got an all-pro Samoan at left guard, Pat Fryermuth at tight end, DK Metcalf, a future Hall of Famer at one wide receiver, George Pickens at the other. Jaylen Warren can do it all. He can run, he can block, he can catch. And you got the baddest man on the planet, Aaron Rodgers. I'll take my chances. You got Saquon Barkley. The Pittsburgh Steelers got Aaron Rodgers. Let's see who wins this Super Bowl. Maybe it'll be an all-Pennsylvania Super Bowl.
How many steps do you need to take to win the Super Bowl? Because
Well, I don't know. You want to tear the team down.
I can go through
You want to tear the team
I
down.
can go through them. In order to win the Super Bowl, you got to win your conference championship. And in order to win your conference championship, you have to win in division weekend.
Oh, you go wild
and in order
card.
to win in division weekend, you have to win in Super Wild Card weekend. Unless you're the best team
And
in
the
the
Steelers done
unless
that
you're the
before.
best team in the
And the
conference.
Steelers done that before.
And in order to do that, you got to make the playoffs. And the Steelers have done almost none of those things ever.
How the Pirates doing in the last 30 years?
Do I complain about the Pirates too? Yeah, I do. But here's the thing.
You want them to be the Pirates? Is that what you're looking for when you say you want them to tear down the team?
That's an excellent.
Or is this an April Fool's? You coming at me April Fool?
Let me tell you something. You and I can actually have an intelligent conversation here because that's a great philosophical point that I don't think you intended to make. But it is a good question. Would I rather see more losing from the Steelers when they can be interesting every season and they can get us through the depressing time of winter?
Thank you.
Maybe.
Thank you.
But
No, yes. I'll say yes.
Yeah, I mean, right? At least they're interesting, right? So
Yeah.
it would only get scary if they only won 5 games with DK Metcalf on the offense. That would be scary, right? But they're going to win 9 games, so maybe you're right. Now, do I think that they would have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl because the NFL's a better league than Major League Baseball and the Steelers are a better run organization than the Pirates? Yeah, I think that would also help.
Wow.
I think it would be, yeah. So I think those factors play into it too, but I don't want to hurt your mind right now. I know too much.
Nick,
We'll take too much
take
time.
another sip of ginger ale because you're helping him out.
Cheers.
He got
Cheers.
the relish.
No. You got your ginger ale too. I got my sugar free.
That's the ginger ale team. Thanks for calming him down, Nick. It was appreciated because I don't agree with anything he's saying there.
I agree with it a little bit. I
Thank you.
kind of get it.
Here's why.
I agree with a point he didn't intend to make.
Yeah,
that's the summary.
He was not philosophical, so you called that out. Last year, he made one of the worst predictions he's ever made on Pittsburgh Sportsline. He said the Steelers will be in the Super Bowl. I didn't know he meant in the stands. So he did it again. We're going to move on to Nick VIP Callus time. 10 seconds. Thanks.
Okay, we got a discussion. Torpedo bats. Why, how, who cares? Is it legal? So, I was an umpire once upon a time. I read the Major League Rule Book. I haven't read it in a while. I forget things. But I'm going to try to remember things for all of you out there. So, I know that there's a regulation on the glove size that you can have. I think it's like 12 3/4 or 13 inches, somewhere around there. I know when I was in Little League, I had one bigger than Major League regulation because obviously you can't be diving and making insane catches with a glove that's like super big. So where do bats come into play? Well, there are certain regulations about the barrel width for a bat. You can't have big barreled bats, as they say, and you can't use metal bats, of course. So looking at that, what Jazz Chisholm did that caught the attention of fans of the league is that he didn't make the barrel bigger than you can make it by regulation. He just distributed more of the wood, made the bulk of the bat, not even on the label, he made the bulk of the bat thicker than the rest of the bat. Weighs the same, but it's more about weight distribution that may cause some issue, and it's a bat that you're going to take a gamble with when you're hitting. Everything making sense so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, weight distribution means that when you swing the bat, it's going to feel different because the weight is proportionalized to focus on that point on the barrel that you've made thicker.
Well, explain how they've used thinner handled bats to do some of that.
Right, so the handle looks slimmer. So what that means is that while all that extra wood is allocated toward that part of the barrel that is thicker, you're taking a gamble because you're trying to ensure that you hit the barrel of the bat on that sweet spot every time. And if you've ever been a hitter or you've ever seen hitters, you know that not every hit is barreled up. And that's why a bat traditionally is more balanced. Because if you don't hit the ball off the barrel and you get fooled, well, you can still hit the ball off of a piece closer to the handle or maybe off the tip or off the edge. And bats are designed to be able to still handle the force of the pitch coming in, so you can still get pretty decent contact on the ball. Which is why I'd never personally use a torpedo bat, because my strength has been contact when I've played, because I am short and not as strong as professional athletes. So I would like a proportionalized bat. Now, Jazz Chisholm, he slowly declined when he was on the Yankees, when he got traded. Like, he was still doing well, but he was on a slow decline, and then in the playoffs, he didn't hit very well. So I would guess maybe he wanted to try something different with a trend that's going to get started that may help him hit for better power numbers now that he's on a team that has expectations greater than any of us in Pittsburgh can conceive. That's something. So now, if you do get fooled on a pitch, though, and you don't barrel up a pitch, then the risk becomes, well, that proportionalized bat that may have helped you get a little extra good contact on the ball, even if you don't hit it off the barrel, that goes away completely. Because now you've got a thinner handle and a thinner piece on the end, a thick piece on the end. So you are betting. You are trying to have precision that you're going to hit the ball every time on the sweet spot of that barrel. And if you miss, the ball ain't going very far. So this is just another thing that the players are trying to do now to put all the chips in on power. I think that it could work for certain hitters, and I do agree with the Brewers manager, the guy I quoted earlier, where he said that it's not the wand, it's the magician. Players may prefer this weight distribution and this all-in double down on the hitting the ball on the barrel. There are other hitters that I think won't like it because it's rare, I guess, when you think about it, but there is still the contact-oriented players, or maybe players that don't want to put all their chips in on that perfect power from that barrel, and they're going to use a traditional bat, which is, again, going to give them a little leniency if they don't barrel the baseball up. Not illegal. Seems suspicious. It feels illegal because it looks weird, but when you break it down, A, it's not illegal, and B, it can help hitters in certain ways, but it's still a give and take situation. It's not like this will just help every hitter in every situation. It won't help every hitter in every situation, which is why it's healthy, because you are giving yourself that extra barrel space, while what's being taken from you is the ability to hit for better contact if you don't barrel up the baseball. Does that make sense?
Yankees seem to like it when they hit 3 home runs in the first 3 pitches of the game.
Okay, well, they were playing at Yankee Stadium, too, and that's my counter there. A few of those home runs would have been outs in more traditional ballparks, too. So, and I'm a Yankee fan, don't forget that. Like, I study the Yankees. Like, I've studied this situation.
Well, here's how...
I've studied the rules a little bit to
Nick, you
figure
explained it very well, but here's how simple it is. When steroids come into the game, not everybody could hit 60 or 70 home runs. So when Barry Bonds was on clear, he had a good swing. He always had a great swing, and they always walked him, so he only had a select amount of pitches. Guess what? He's hitting 70 home runs at an end of a career. It never happened.
You accidentally just created Barry Bonds' Hall of Fame case with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He was MVP. I don't deny that. Mm-hmm. I just don't like clear, and his head got like a basketball.
Sure.
That means you're cheating, and
but
you can't deny it.
You're altering your body.
No,
in a
but
way.
my point is that not everybody can do this. Like Smoking Jim, you give him a torpedo bat, he's still not going to hit the ball to you.
You might hit the ball less far.
Yes.
Yes.
And then he doesn't understand what if they pitch you inside that thin-handled bat with all the weight up there? Where are you going with that?
You've got to get to the ball quickly to barrel it up,
Well,
or...
It's some pine cork.
What? Pine what? No, say that again, seriously. Pine what?
It should just be cork.
Pine cork?
There's nothing like pine cork. We got to move on.
Oh, you're trying to talk about cork bats. I'm surprised you know about the history of cork bats.
Yeah.
My man.
He only heard briefly about it. But no, I was just trying to make the point. But exceptional athletes, like look at the Yankees, they're known for home runs before. so they're all barreling up the ball. So if you give them bats that accents it, you have more of that. Like, look at a team like the Pirates that don't hit that many home runs. Maybe you get a guy that hits 50, but what's the rest of the team going to do?
Yeah, no, it may be bad for the game, too, because you again, are focusing more on power than anything else. So that might not be great for those of you that don't like, the sacrifice of everything else for power. But
hey,
we'll see how it goes.
girls
But
like the long ball.
The Atlanta Braves ordered a whole shipment of them, so there's that. And Ellie De La Cruz reportedly used one tonight and is doing well. So we'll see what develops. Not illegal, though. Okay, that's all.
All right, that's good. Few people are watching. Marsha Rubenstein, Jody Brown, Jennifer Mills, Teresa Mariano, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Now it's our favorite segment, Mike Ragin' Roadie, 10 seconds.
Mike is live. All right, so I've been jotting down a few. I got to talk Steelers. I
Go
got
ahead.
one more show I'm on before the draft, so I'm going to bring in my computer like last year and
Okay.
give you all my
Great.
draft. But I wanted to talk
No,
about.
I appreciate that.
I want to talk about a few scenarios that have been running around, a few thoughts that have been prevailing thoughts about the Steelers that I want to dispel. So you ready? I'm going to set the
Yeah.
record straight. First one is everybody wants to play for Tomlin. Okay, who said that? Tomlin didn't say it. The Steelers didn't say it. A bunch of reporters talked to a few people who said that they like it, that they like playing for Tomlin. Now all of a sudden when somebody goes elsewhere, what about this thing where everybody wants to play for Tomlin? So I wish everybody would just kind of stop saying that.
Wow.
Okay? They bring it up about Justin Fields. Okay? Good luck in New York, Justin. I'm sure it's going to work out great for you there.
$40 million, $30 million guaranteed.
Yeah. So the second thing is that Tomlin handcuffs offenses. All right? That's been prevalent the last couple of years. I get it. But Tomlin did not handcuff offenses when he had Ben in his prime, Lev Bell, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, you name it. He was going for two way more often than he should. He was not handcuffing offenses, okay? The guy right now, right or wrong, feels his best way is to limit his passers, not throw interceptions. I know it drives everybody crazy, but that's what he thinks is going to win games. So he doesn't limit offenses, okay? If he gets Jackson Dart in here, you're going to see offensive explosion.
Yes!
All right. So the next one is that the Steelers wanted Fields and Russ back because Rooney said so. Remember at the beginning?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. They don't want either of them back. Rooney said that because that's what you say. It's like when every player says, oh, I want to finish my career here for sure. And then they go sign somewhere else for more money. All right, so let's just be clear and quit using all that nonsense.
Except for Myles
Everything
Garrett.
People say
Myles Garrett
it's just nonsense. And then I heard another one that, we drafted Pickett. It set the franchise back 5 years. No, it didn't. It's not 20 years ago when you draft a rookie quarterback, they make more money than the rest of the team. Okay, they're long out of Pickett's contract. They traded him after 2 years. It didn't set it back. It didn't work. You draft somebody else. He doesn't work. You draft somebody else. That's how it works. Okay.
Thanks,
And
Mike.
then they say Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Maybe he is, but he played for the Jets, where players go to die. Lev Bell, bring him up again. He was an all-star, best running back I ever saw. 1 year later, he's with the Jets. Next year, he's out of the freaking league. Okay? So let's not talk about what Aaron Rodgers did with the Jets. Personally, I think it'd be a nice show if he comes here. I'm not a big fan of how it's all going down either. But I think it's going to be kind of cool. Let's see what happens. Yeah. It's going to be interesting because you put him, again, he's a year older, but you put him in like a situation that's just not the Jets, right? And you've got this relative firepower for him to throw to now. You know, Metcalf is a huge add because it puts Austin in the slot now. And he's going to be a pretty darn good slot guy. You know, let's see what Roman Wilson does. They're probably going to add one in the draft. But, you know, I think it's going to be a fun show. I think he is coming here. I think they're going to draft Jackson Dart. But I'm going to save my draft stuff for next week. But anyway, I wanted to set the record straight with those common prevailing thoughts that I sense are going around. So everyone out in the media land, you can stop talking about all of them now, please. It's driving me crazy.
Mike, it's appreciated here, but the media will still carry on.
Now they listen to me every time, Al.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but good luck.
All right.
I'm rooting for you. Anybody on Pittsburgh Sportsline, if you can beat the rest of the media, I salute you.
There you go.
No, that is great. Thank you, Mike. Well thought out, well planned. And let's see, Leo Rodriguez is watching. Brandon Kochnar. Let's see. Marco Rodi. Yankees had one more home run. Jason Dominguez. My friend Bob Beers is watching. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we got On Location, 10 seconds. On Location, I'm silent on it. No April Fools anymore. We got Smoking Jim on the first one. It's been a good year with On Location and doing different things, so we appreciate it. We'll see what happens next year or this year again. You don't know what's going to go on there. We're always looking at doing bars and restaurants again if we can get out there. And we had so much fun interviewing people and teams and coaches and you name it. So we'd like to get back to that. Keep promoting all our ones that we've done in the past, so it's good. Hey, we got about less than 2 minutes. Open discussion on anything.
May I? I need to ask Nick this because it's driving me crazy. Why don't they use technology for the strike zones now? It's easier for the umpires. It would take it. It's impossible.
What do you think I have?
A 95 mile an hour pitch. It's impossible to know where it's going in an invisible.
I know why.
Why don't they use it?
I know why. Because Chip Hainer sends a letter into the league every season and says, "Don't do it. I love baseball the way it was back in the 1950s." That's what he's.
Drives me insane how many pitches they. And I don't blame them. It's an impossible job. You can't get all those calls.
You can't. Absolutely not.
You can't. Why? They have the technology. Why don't they? Should just be listening every time. Strike, ball, ball. That's what they should be doing.
April 17th. April 17th.
Hey, you stink.
Why do you say that?
April Fool's.
Oh, April 17th. April 17th. Everybody get down the PPG Arena and watch Ovechkin break Gretzky's record against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I would love that. Let's get a sellout crowd.
That's Easter weekend.
Wow.
Hey, you got to give it to Ovechkin for what he did for Fleury. That was very cool. When he called his team back on the ice. That was the last time they were going to play against Fleury. He pulled his whole team. They were leaving the game.
What a
put them all back on the ice to
what a classy
Fleury.
Thanks for explaining it. Thanks for explaining it to a non-hockey guy. And we don't like Ovechkin here. Congrats to him. Linda Crawl, Al, you're so smart to call out my April Fool's comment. Please stay Joey Strong.